Hey guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work with the array.sort function in JavaScript. So this is a function that sorts arrays in JavaScript. So let's get started. So JavaScript array.sort function is a function used to sort arrays in JavaScript. It can be used to sort strings and number arrays, but we have to supply a parameter called the compare function to sort number arrays. Okay, I need to change this. So it can be used to sort string and number arrays, but we have to supply called a compare function for number arrays. Okay. So the sort function takes in only one parameter, which is called the compare function. And then, so the sort, so I can just show you. So I can just use the array of fruits. So you can say fruits.sort. So this one takes an optional function called the compare function. And the compare function takes in, let me just show you. So, and the compare function takes in two arguments which are never undefined. So the sort functions takes in only one argument, which is the compare function, as I have highlighted. And then the compare function itself takes in two arguments. So the compare function should return a negative value if A should come before B. So figure this out. So if we have two numbers, if you have number 20 and 30, 20 which is A and 30 which is B. So it should return a negative if A comes before B. So if so, this one should return a negative because this one should return negative 10. Okay. So let's do it again. If A is 20 and B is 30, the compare function, we say the compare function returns a negative if A comes before B. So what we do in the compare function is A. So let's just use, let me just use that. So we have said the compare function takes in two arguments A and B and returns a negative if A comes before B. So how do we return negative here between A and B? So we just do 20 minus 30. We get negative 10. So this negative 10 is a negative value, and we said it should return a negative value if A comes before B. So is this ascending or descending? So 20 to 30, this is ascending. So whenever it returns a negative, this is ascending. This is ascending order. And it should return a positive. So we say A is still 20, B is 30. It should return a positive if A comes after B. So how do we make A come after B and return a positive? We change the order. So start with B 30 and A 20, such that we get a positive. Now we interchange this. Let's interchange this such that now A is 30 and B is 20. And now we can do 30 minus 20, which is equals to 10. Now this one, 30 to 20 is descending order. So if you're having a hard time to grasp this, just understand that this is the compare function. If we do the first parameter minus the second parameter, this is ascending. So if we do a minus, it's ascending. If we minus the first parameter to the second parameter, this is ascending order. Then A, B still. Then we do B minus A. This is descending order. So just grasp this and it'll be good to go. Okay, let's continue. So the sort function returns a reference to the original array, now sorted and no copy is made. So this is our key point to note, is that the sort function returns a reference to the original array, now sorted and no copy is made. So as I have said, is that the sort function mutates the existing array. It changes it and returns a reference to it and no copy is made. Another key point to note is that string arrays are sorted alphabetically. And something to note is that the sort function alters the original array, and for this reason, it's not safe to use. So they added a new method called toSorted, which is a safe way of sorting an array without altering the original array. Okay, we'll talk about this later in the next tutorials. Now we can go straight to the usage. So on the usage, so we have an array of fruits, which are string arrays. Excuse. Yes, so we have an array of strings, which are fruits. And to sort them, we just call the fruits.sort. And then console.log the fruits. So the reason I'm doing this instead of storing this in a variable is that we just said this one mutates the existing array. It will change the fruits array and return a reference to it. So you don't even necessarily need to save it because it will mutate it. So if we come here and run node index.js, now you can see bananas is B, O, this one is sorted alphabetically. All right, so let's continue. So this is an illustration of how this one returns a reference to the existing, a reference of the existing array, but it also mutates it. So when you console log others and fruits, you see they have the same value. This is what I was saying, because the dot sort mutates the existing array, changes it, and return a reference to it. So it's basically the same. Now we go to the usage with the numbers. So I'll just copy these numbers. So I'll just copy these numbers. And now we have an array of numbers. So how can we sort the array of numbers? So the sort function only sorts strings. So how do we sort numbers? So to sort numbers, it's where the compare functions come into play. So we still call the sort max.sort, but now we pass something called the compare function. All right, even you can see here it's given. We pass in a compare function. So let me just create a function here. And it takes in two arguments, A and B, and returns negative. We just said that. I hope you are listening. So we just said if it returns a negative, this is by ascending order. So by default, there's no need of cramming anything. So this is ascending order. Whenever you see the first argument minus the second argument, that's ascending by default. If you see the other way around, maybe B minus A, this is descending order. All right. So it just takes in a compare function, nothing else. And by doing so, we should sort this in ascending order. Then we can console fruits now max. So if we go here and print index.js, you can now see 10, 15, 90, and 400. And then if we change this to descending, you now see they are sorted in descending order. So point to note is that this function is too long, and we said as an array function, as an anonymous function is a function like this which returns whatever is on the right hand side. So we can make this one simpler by just creating an anonymous function, then returning A and B. And then we can get rid of all this. And this is exactly equals to the previous one. So you can see now. So the final thing we are going to do is to do an example. The final thing to do is an example. And we are supposed to sort these. So we are supposed to sort. I don't know whether you can see. Let me make it smaller. Okay, so we have a slip. This is a marking slip or result slip. Sort the subjects in ascending order. So what do we do here? So we are basically sorting by the marks, and we said the marks, sorting by the marks is you use a compare function. So to get started, the same thing we used to do is that we call the slip.sort, and then we give it A and B. But now A and B, these are objects. You can see this is A, maybe this is A in the first iteration and this is B. So we cannot sort against an object. We need to sort against a number. So what do we do? Now we grab, so we grab A dot max minus B dot max. We said minus B dot max. So we said whenever you see a negative whereby the first character, this first argument subtracting the second argument, is that exactly ascending. And then if we come here in console.log slip. So the reason I'm doing that is because the sort is mutating the existing array. So it doesn't make much of a difference. So if we come here and run this, now you can see 40, 70, 74, 78, and the highest one. And that's it, guys. That's how we use the sort function in JavaScript. So make sure to like, subscribe to this channel, share with your friends, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. So the next function we look at is the toSorted function that will come later. So thank you guys, and have a great time.